What's going on, guys? Dookie back here with another Minecraft video. And today we're going to be looking at the top 5 wacky build palettes in Minecraft that actually surprisingly work. So today, before we jump in, I would like for you all to subscribe and leave a like, and let's get into this video. For wacky build palette number 1, we have some very interesting blocks that builders actually try to refrain from, namely this yellow glazed terracotta. But also, you typically don't see raw gold, one of the new update blocks, honeycomb, and netherite in a survival build. But also, these deep slate blocks have not found any really great way to get integrated with the yellow colors yet. So today, let's look at how we can use them. Here is a nice castle build using the glazed terracotta as the main accent, like a symbol. The main problem and reason why builders refrain from using them is they're not a real consistent solid color. As you can see, the yellow is also mixed in with a little bit of brown. But also, their orientation is very interesting. Actually, to get this pattern, I had to be over here, up here, up here, and inside the build to actually get it right. So, it's a hard block to use. And the raw gold, let's face it, it looks like dragon scales. Dragon build, great. Any other type of build, probably not. And then the honey is a see-through block. Now, if you're a restaurant guy like me, you've probably used honey before, but it's very see-through. As you can see through to the other side. And when you take a step back, and we use these hard-to-use blocks in a certain build like this, with netherite as the framework. This is a very, very expensive framework. It actually makes a very nice combination of blocks. One problem is it's kind of expensive, and it's kind of sticky. Look at all that honey. For wacky build palette number 2, we have, yet again, some dark green glazed terracotta, but you can definitely see that it's not a consistent color. We also have green terracotta, copper, acacia, which surprisingly copper and acacia wood are a very, very different shade of orange. Also with some orange concrete powder, which is also a very different shade of orange. And a block that not many people use, the kelp block. Now, this actually turned out really great. I'm really happy with how this build came out. The copper really complements the dark green terracotta. The dark green terracotta really pulls together for the kelp. And the kelp makes actually surprisingly great pillars with that line. The problem with the kelp is the line, but the line in this case makes it a very, very nice build. And also the orientation of the dark green glazed terracotta allowed us to have sort of a curvature feeling on these arches. And the acacia acts as a really nice roof and it allowed us to get some shape. But it also wasn't too crazy, and it didn't expose the differences between the acacia, the concrete powder, and the copper shades of orange. Turned out very nice, and I'm really happy how this came out, and I'd like to see you build this in your own survival world. So the next build is a bit more stable, but it's a very wide range of colors. Also, we're using the new candle blocks with this update. Now, in this build palette area I have here, I did not light them, but in the candles on the build, as you can see over here, they are lit. So just remember that. Now, back to the actual build palette itself. So, this block right here is a block that's not very commonly used, which is the quartz pillar. It's got a very interesting texture, which is why. And then the basalt with the quartz pillar and these whites and blues is not very common. Now thinking about it, the basalt pillar, if you made those lines on it more consistent, it actually would look a lot like this quartz pillar. I never really realized that until now. And then for our other blocks, we have white concrete powder, light blue concrete powder, gray surprisingly, this is called gray terracotta, glazed terracotta, black candles, blue terracotta, which actually has more of a purple hue, and the warped warts and the warped wood. So in this build, we use the white concrete powder as sort of the foundation. This build has a very whimsical feeling, like something out of a fantasy or phantom land, which actually turned out really nice with these candles, and the basalt really complements the warped warts, and the warped warts go really well with the blue terracotta, along with the quartz pillars. And as you can see, orientation with these glazed terracottas means everything, but it actually turned out really well, and the blue on the gray glazed terracotta really works well with these trap doors, and it just turned out really well, especially with the candle on top and the steep roof that we have here and the lit candles. It just comes together, and if you're building in a creative fantasy world, this is the type of build that I think you would see in it. Okay, for this next build, I know what you're thinking. This is a very wide range of color options that probably wouldn't work. We have smooth grayish bone block. We have red stained glass, green stained glass, purple glazed terracotta, dark like a black stone, smooth stone block, white terracotta, and white concrete powder, and it comes very weird. But actually, I used this to make sort of a sci-fi robot thing, and it turned out phenomenal. The purple just really, with those lines in it, really make it look just really good. I'm really happy with how this one came out. And the green and the red makes it seem very, very sci-fi, along with this black stone looking like robot legs, and then the smooth stone definitely, actually, in this sense, I can't speak today, really makes like a good robot hinged looking joint. And the bone here really just adds some of that differentiation. And it just comes together very, very nice. Yeah, and it's just, the purple glazed terracotta with those lines in it, pointing down like to the center here on the bone block, makes the bone block seem like the main support, and this bone also works down here. And like even here, the purple glazed terracotta looks like a connector for the legs to the body of the sci-fi. And I'm really glad about how this one came out. And if you're building something that requires a robot, you probably want a build palette like this to add some differentiation apart from all those standard grays. So for our next build palette, it's actually not that wacky. It's the YouTube button. It's, yeah, subscribe. I'm out. Bye. Subscribe. See you later. And Thricky out.